I'm like waiting for it to go live. It's live on this end, but I'm waiting. Let's see what happens here. Hey guys, it's your boy TG, and boy, oh boy, it's been a long time coming, and we are back. Goode Got Your Entertainment has been waiting for a return. You haven't saw us in a long time. I'm your host, TrustGoode. You see me all over the place all week long. I've introduced myself. The podcast introduced yourself. I've been numerous shows since then, taking the heat from sports. My Green Bay Packers. Oh boy. I see Aaron Rodgers souped up in the Jets jersey. Oh, somebody give me a tissue. But anyways, we got Sweet Baby Love. I ain't worried about that. But then on the cross screen today, we got Cam with the plan in the house. Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, my brother. It is great to finally talk to you again. It's been a minute, bro. A lot of sports. We missed a lot of sports, but we got a lot to talk about.
Man, it's a lot to talk about. I mean, you got Giants gear on. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. You got Clemson stuff on. I don't even know your room is Clemson color. I don't know what's going on. I just come in here in all white. But then, look, people, I have to come back because it's football season. And this is for all my followers. Oh, go Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. And we're still going to do something anyways, and I don't care. But anyways, hey, thank you guys for joining in. We got a lot to cover. This show will be a little bit more of a shorter take because we got the Hall of Fame game kicking off the season with the Jets and the Browns. I'm not even getting into that right now because Aaron Rodgers is gone. I don't even want to worry about it. But let's hop right into it, Cam. We got our first topic up for tonight. Talking about the Jets later down the night and what they got going on, but the chemistry within the offseason of not only them creating havoc with getting Aaron Rodgers, bringing on a receiver and so whatnot, with Randall Cobb and bringing in some of the Green Bay Packers staff, but now they're talking about potentially having Dalvin Cook at the helm with Aaron Rodgers. Can you walk me through of how deadly this combination can be? Because we saw Rodgers without a running back in Green Bay for some time. He cried wolf for a long time until he said, I'm out. It's done. It's over. I even lost Devontae Adams in the crosshairs. But you finally get one towards the end of your stint at Green Bay with Aaron Jones, and you got chemistry there, then you're out. How much of a vital role would a running back like Dalvin Cook play in the Jets if he decided to go there?
I mean, if you think about it, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, that tandem at running back propelled y'all through the seasons, even though Aaron Rodgers had down.
Well, I think we might have lost Cam to some technical issues. We'll be getting him back soon. But just to reiterate what we talked about here with Dalvin Cook, I mean, this position here, Dalvin Cook leaving Minnesota, the NFC, not even at the side of the ballpark with the Packers and the Vikings. But to look at this topic here, Dalvin Cook potentially getting connected with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers not having a long-term partner back there in the backfield. Finally getting to Dalvin Cook. Some people would say, hey, his shoulder's busted up. And I think I got Cam joining me back now as I got correspondence from the back. Hey, I don't know what's going on. Today in technical issues, we will talk about that later. We'll figure out this, and we have to contact somebody from a third party. But my thing is, you were on to Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, so when you implement someone like Dalvin Cook, who has rushed for over 1,000 yards in the past 4 seasons, I mean, that's just I'm not saying it's the same production as Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, but that's the same production as Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. So you implement that Plus, with Aaron Rodgers, he's one of the better quarterbacks. He's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league, even though he had to cry wolf and he's a daggone prima donna. He's a little diva. He want to cry wolf. Talking about, I only need my players to play with me because I only feel comfortable with my players and I only feel better with my players. See, if it wasn't for all that, I wouldn't be upset about it. Honestly, he should have stayed in Green Bay. He should have took a pay cut to get Devontae Adams, but he didn't. But he's in New York now. I'm happy for the guy. But if I'm Dalvin Cook, I would take that trip to either to the Jets or, it's going to sound crazy, I think he would be a better fit down in Miami. I do.
I mean, I'm not against it. I mean, many times that we've disagreed again and again on this show. This is one of the first topics that I can say I actually damn sure agree with you 100%. I mean, I got this team being very dominant. Now, the first couple of games, because Aaron Rodgers may not eventually end up playing in the preseason. We'll talk about that later. But also, I think Dalvin Cook is just, look at what he did in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins. And now you have a quarterback that can be in situations and get you out of it. And we've seen Rodgers make his miracles happen in Wisconsin. But across the globe when he played, God, this man's he's a god in football and NFL. With only having one Super Bowl ring. Green Bay should have made some noise with that. But also, I will say Dalvin Cook is a great running back as long as he stays healthy. That's another thing. But
here's the issue. Not to cut you off.
Okay.
If I'm Dalvin Cook, I'm looking at one huge variable in both of these teams, or whichever teams I'm looking at, the offensive line. Because realistically speaking, the Green Bay Packers had Pro Bowlers, probably future Hall of Famers on that offensive line itself. The Jets, they're young. They have a very young offensive line. Miami, they don't have a bad offensive line. They really don't. Their biggest question mark is Tua's health, like longevity-wise. Because at some point, he's going to go down. He's going to get hit. And, that's a different story for a different day. But if I'm Dalvin Cook, I'm looking specifically at, okay, can I be successful? Can I at least get 800 yards behind the Jets line? Or can I get 800 yards behind Miami's line?
And not only that, you will break records with this Jets offense. And not only that, take consideration that you got a Hall of Famer in the backfield, but the Jets defense has been spectacular. All they needed last season was a damn QB. And they finally got that.
Yeah, you're right.
Rodgers talked about actually playing for a few more years. When he was in Green Bay, he was like, the hell with this league, I'm out. But now he's like, I might be standing around for a few-year partnership. We'll talk about that later in the show and figure out how the script, what the hell he talked about with a few-year partnership. But in the meantime, have you heard in the news that we talked about a lot of running backs, not only injuries, but talk about running backs in the news. Jonathan Taylor, not Cam Taylor's cousin. I don't know if they're kin or not. We'll figure it out down the line. We go to Ancestry.com. Cam, type that up, figure out if y'all cousins or not. But in the meantime, Jonathan Taylor with the Colts are deciding now, in his terms, he wants to be out. He wants to trade. He wants to potentially part ways. And did I come to mention that the owner of the Colts, what rock do you live under? I don't know. You're like Patrick and SpongeBob, and no pun intended to SpongeBob community. I love them dearly. But this man in quote said, if I die tonight and Jonathan Young is out of the league, no one will miss it. The league will go on. Everything will be just like a poof, there it's gone. Like a fairy tale. Who would look? You know how I don't like this stuff, and it's disrespectful. As I understand what he's saying, that the world is we die tomorrow, the job's going to replace us, and the world's going to move on and on and on. We tell a lot of people that you die today, your job's not going to care about you. They got a job posting tomorrow. But in the same sense of things here, I don't like that he made a comment like this about your star athlete of your team. The number one running back in the league last year, under Derrick Henry falling to an injury. This dude ran all over the field, over everybody. And you just say that because I don't care. I'm casually come up here. You privileged. I can't even say the word I want to say behind it, but I'm just going to say I'm just going to be there. Cam, I'm going to ask you, what do you got to say about this? What do you have to say?
Well, this is why I prefer the NBA over the NFL. The NBA is player ran compared to the NFL. I feel like I don't agree with what he said, but I understand because that's the business aspect of things. God forbid if I pass away today, the job that I work at will replace me for the next 2 weeks. That's just how it goes. It sucks, but that's how life is. But for you to outright say that about your star player is kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like him coming out like that, and the fact that he requests a trade and he just flat out says what he says. I'm like that. That should leave a bad taste not only in Jonathan Taylor's mouth, but for the entire organization in Indianapolis. But that's also a message in the league as well, throughout the league. Because if that one owner thinks that way, with an owner-led league the way it is, for sure that every other owner thinks the same way. They may not blatantly come out and say it. They may not say it, but ultimately everybody is replaceable. But to say it like that, that's kind of cut through. But hey, that's your team. Well, not your team, but that's the Colts as an organization. So hey, that's their problem. We got Big Blue over here. We good. We got our running back. I don't care.
I am blown away of what's going on with that team and how they approached it. But I guess he said he's rich. What do I have to worry about it? Nothing. I can make a statement like that. But in other news, talking about ownership, talking about change, talking about positivity and the league, we going to be seeing in the next season or two a switch like no other. People have been waiting on this for over nearly a decade or two. And guess what? It's the Washington Commanders, Redskins. I don't know. But Washington Commanders. Yeah, the football team. I don't know what their name is. They're going to be watching the Washington Couches next thing you know. I don't know. But anyways, the Washington Commanders have now out Dan Snyder and his wife. The Snyder family are now out of the league officially. Their corrupted, toxic work environment is gone. They got it with a lot of money. They got a good spend of what they got. They bought the team for XYZ, and they got God knows how much. They've been up and up and up on that. But now you got a new era in Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, and company. And the new day that we saw weeks ago, it looked beautiful for Washington. I mean, finally, a day of darkness is no longer cast over to the city of Washington or the Commanders. And potentially talking about the switch of the name back to the potential Washington Redskins. But this is the catch. And Ken, we can discuss this. When you go back to the Redskins name, that all people did surveys and people have did many things about their name is not proper, it's racist, it's this, it's that, it's not representing the Native Americans. But my take on this is you should change the name back. And if you do, provide incentives or funds or whatever to the tribes. Do almost like the Florida Seminoles do. Florida State Seminoles. I mean, give them their proper respect. Let their tribe members come out and represent themselves during the coin toss. I mean, whatever it takes to show the heritage of the Native Americans that are still here, where our country was built on immigration and built on not only the natives that were here, it was their land, not our land. But then we corruptly took it over. So spread the love of that, what they have and what they do, and the rich heritage that they have. But in my take here, Cam, and I'm going to ask you this question. What's your thoughts about the new ownership? You got Magic. You go from Dan Snyder to Magic Johnson. And you go to Josh Harris that owns the 76ers as well.
Well, I love it. I'm not going to lie to you because you don't need a toxic work environment anywhere where you work, right? So you remove those people completely out of the situation. They're gone. Fantastic. I'm not saying it's a clean slate, but I promise you that little dark gray gloomy cloud that was hanging over DC for the past 10, 20 plus years is gone. The sun can finally shine down. out in DC, well, not DC, but Maryland. But you know what I'm saying. So they can finally, the sun's finally shining and whatnot. I'm happy. You know, I mean, even though I'm a Giants fan and whatnot, I'm glad to see that the organization as a whole is looking forward to taking those steps forward, progressively moving to new ownership. And, you know, they're saying, I know what was done in the past is the past, but look, who we have now in place as ownership is making sure that that will never happen again, which I love to see, which is great. Hopefully they go back to the Redskins because it was never disrespectful, because even you can look at the polls that they put out specifically to Native Americans. The Native Americans said, we appreciate this. This is showing us homage. It's paying us homage. This is giving more, drawing more attention to the culture of the Native Americans, which was great. But then, of course, with the cancel culture and whatnot, the cancel culture canceled the Redskins, not the Native Americans. The cancel culture canceled the Native Americans. So hopefully they figure some things out, because realistically speaking, what the heck is a commander? What is a commander? Like, they could have did anything.
I'm going to tell you this. Any Commander fans that are watching the show right now, I'm talking to you. I'm pointing, look, Garrett, look, talking to you. Yeah, I need you to tell me, what is the Commanders? Somebody give me a definition. I mean, unless it's a military soldier, and I truly respect that. But you don't have a soldier as your mascot, so I can't give it to that.
You got a pig. You got
an oink, something that I cook. Right. But in the same sense, we're going to get off the Commanders' high horse. But I'm glad to see new ownership in Magic and Josh Harris. I think it's going to be a brighter day for the Washington Commanders. I can see it actually turn their organization totally around. But we will see, and that's to come with them. Also, in other news, talking about another team of America, another team that Cam with the plan really, really hates, and I really hate them. It's the damn Dallas Cowboys. And look, I don't even have my mug is being specially made right now and engraved. I don't even have that right now. But this thing, only reason, and I mean only reason I got them on my record right here is because the Dallas Cowboys are in the hot seat. And when I say they're in the hot seat, I'm talking about Dak Prescott. Got one more season to figure this thing out. And Mike McCarthy couldn't catch hot fire since 2010 with the Green Bay Packers. He's in the hot seat. But Cam, I got to ask you this. Who's to blame if the season falls to hell this year?
I mean, it's a combination. It's a combination. I personally believe that it is on Dak, because first and foremost, he comes out saying, "Oh, I'm going to throw less than 11 interceptions this year." But when you view the videos from training camp, he's throwing to the defense every other play. So I don't know what's going on. I personally believe that they put the blame on Kellen Moore way too much. Kellen Moore he's a brilliant kid. Don't get me wrong. I think he's gonna do numbers in LAC with the Chargers. I feel like he's gonna. Hey, Herbert maybe and run for the MVP. Hey, look, you heard it here first. Herbert may make a little MVP push this year, but then ultimately, I think it's gonna be really on Dak. I mean, yeah, you can call the plays, but you have to execute. And there's no way that you only played what? He played a full season, right? He played the full season last year, and he played half. He played like 12 games. He played 12 games.
I think so.
He had
injury prone again.
So, how do you lead the league in interceptions and you played less games than everybody else? Like, that's not on. I mean, don't get me wrong. So some of those passes were dropped from CD and Gallup and all those guys, but look, if you're not going to make those big time throws and not just make them, have them completely on target, it's really on you. I mean, you wanted all that money, Dak, and you got paid the big bucks, and you haven't done anything yet. And McCarthy too. We haven't forgot about you. The lack of coaching that you've done since Green Bay. We can't forget about that. You won one Super Bowl in Green Bay, and all of a sudden, you're one of the better coaches in the league. Simmer down. Come on.
So far as Jerry Jones thought that Jason Garrett was a great coach too. So I don't know. But in the hindsight of things,
so
you good?
You're
You
good, go
good?
ahead.
I'm gonna let you have it because you're on the Dallas Cowboy rant. I don't like Dallas Cowboy rants. This is like I can spend the rest of my time here. And I mean, look, I want to go on a rant anyway. I don't like the Cowboys. Every podcast I be on, I don't like the damn Dallas Cowboys because they sit up there with their star. That's not even right. You got an owner older than Medusa. He should retire. And then you got no, Kim. Now I'm over this. I was trying to hold my breath tonight. I wasn't going to even do this to Dallas starting out the season. But no, forget all that. Forget all that. The Dallas Cowboys. They got Dak Prescott. They got rid of the cereal eating freak. What's his name? Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know what he was doing but clogging a hole. And then don't even get me started on the sideline with Mike McCarthy. They might have just kept Jason Garrett, or what's his name? Garrett Garnett, whatever his name is. I don't know his name. But he was a slouch too. They talk about Super Bowl after Super Bowl. I got one thing for you, Cowboy fans. You come on here and you talk about my Green Bay Packers, but your Cowboys got star athletes on the team. Arguably supposed to be better than Green Bay. Totally better than all the league. Even Tom Brady couldn't beat them. But you lose in the first round. Then secondly, did I mention you got to put a VCR and a tape cassette to watch the Super Bowl. I'm going to mention that all the time until you win a Super Bowl. You got to rewind. I don't even know NBA players are out there. I don't even know what. You probably still had box radios back in that time. I am so disgruntled with the Dallas Cowboys because football season is back, and I'm on y'all every single week. I might even dedicate one podcast to you guys. I'll dedicate one show to you guys. I'll figure it out when I'm going to do it.
I will say this, though. 3 of the NFC East teams made the playoffs last year. Look, 3 of those teams made it out of the first round. Hey, look, all I'm saying is we are in fact.
But this is the thing, Kim. I'm tired of your blasphemy. You come on this show the first week and you decide you're going to do this. You're not even matching in your clothes. I don't even know what's going on. Something's in the water over there. And then no. Did I mention, did any of those teams that you talked about in the NFC even come out and win the Super Bowl? No.
I mean, Philly went to the Super Bowl. I mean, we got close.
Green Bay once went to the Super Bowl too. And so did the rest of them. I don't care about all that. It's about winning the Super Bowl. And I got to get to the person who won the Super Bowl. But I'm not going to do that. Right. I'm not going to talk about you guys on the NFC side like that. I mean, I'm an NFC, but I don't like you Dallas Cowboys, you Giants fans. You guys are so, I don't even know, blasphemous that you come out here with these words. You come out here with these words about we're going here, we're going there, we're going east, west. I don't give a damn about that. And Eagle fans, I'm on you too. Because y'all are lousy pieces. I can't even say the last word. Because y'all think y'all are so big and bad with your half-baked chicken. You need to go put it back in the fryer. Because y'all ain't winning another Super Bowl. You win one, you blow the damn city up once. You blow it up when you win, you blow it up when you lose. You don't know when to blow the city up. But you got a nerve to come over here and say you can't understand me. You understand you will lose and slouch. You lose. You lose every year. You get one Super Bowl. You can't record nothing else. You got one trophy and 5 shells. What the hell is that? Yeah, I'm pissed today, Cam. I'm tired of this. It's the first show. This is how the season's gonna go. This is how the season's gonna go.
No, it's not. We're gonna have a better season because I will say, in all retrospect, I have looked at majority of the schedules in the NFC East, and I don't see maybe 2 teams make it out. I don't think that. I know the Giants. We may win 6 games.
You know it's a bad season when you talk about the Bears are the best in my division. The Bears are the best in our division.
I think Detroit will take all division, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Jared Goff is not taking nothing but a chest cold going home.
Hey, look.
Look, I'm moving on.
All I'm saying is I don't believe in Minnesota.
I don't care about Minnesota either. I want to try to bring them in the mixture with Kirk Cousins. He's not going to do anything either. They don't even have a running back. They don't even know who their running back is. But look, I'm not holding up too much longer. We got more topics to talk about. I'm not getting into Minnesota's conversation. We're going to beat them twice this year. With sweet baby love. He's coming in. He's going to do damage. That's all I'm going to say. But no, Cam, we are staying on the script. I'm not talking about Green Bay tonight. I'm not bringing them to the conversation. We'll talk about them next week in the first week of preseason games. But to get into the topic, some of these teams are taking a hit pretty early, and it's NFL injuries. We saw a checklist of injuries go across the board from Cooper Kupp to Joe Burrow. We've seen Jalen Ramsey take one hit a month ago, and he's gone. Breece Hall is gone, which might be a good chance for Dalvin Cook to get into the mixture. But these injuries like this, Cam, we can talk about this, is how can these linger into the season? We've seen guys that say, oh, they're going to be all right after preseason. They can just rest up. And then you have a guy like Joe Burrow, no harm done to Joe Burrow. He's a great player, but he doesn't have a great offensive line. So a calf injury can go a long way for the Bengals.
I think that injuries happen. And I also feel like players have to start taking care of their bodies better. Don't get me wrong. Joe Burrow had a non-contact injury. I think Jalen Ramsey had a non-contact injury. Cooper Kupp was running non-contact injury. So I think it's more on the athletes themselves taking care of their body more than anything. I do think, though, the Bengals are in bad shape, honestly. Because a calf, and I will say the Bengals' offensive line has gotten better over the past 2-3 years, that they have gotten better. But a calf injury is just as bad as a shoulder injury or an elbow injury, because if that pocket collapses, I mean, you got to drive off that back leg and you're on your toes, and one misstep, that calf give out, that's y'all season. And I really felt like this will sound crazy, I wanted to see Cincinnati back in the Super Bowl this year. I felt like this was their year that they could take down Kansas City. They almost did it last year. They should have did it last year.
Well, I'm going to say
if we're going to be realistic,
that's not going to happen this year. Not with that kind of injury falling under him this year. And that offensive line, they have gotten better, but they need to be stellar. They need to be excuse my French, but they have to be a Patriots offensive line or a Tampa Bay Bucks offensive line. If every QB had a Tom Brady offensive line, the league will be tough. It will be super tough because they were like cement blocks in front of Brady. I mean, it was like playing I don't know. It was like playing a video game and that the not Minecraft. Yeah, Minecraft. I was saying Minecraft to build the block, put it up. But even talking about that, injuries can go a long way, and not only that, talking about those type of injuries, but also getting into the picture of talking about comeback players. Cam, we talked about this and talked about not only injuries and how they impact you throughout the season, but also we saw in the encounter of Damar Hamlin last season, and we saw how that brutal collapse happened out of nowhere in the midst of the game between Buffalo and the Bengals. And we saw Damar collapse in front of our eyes and took us by a storm. That if this guy potentially could have passed away on the field in front of our eyes and be one of the first athletes that we see take that kind of storm to our eyes. And also to picture that health is key in anything that you do, if it's sports or anything throughout your life. But we catch a minute, and you'll see through news and you see through ESPN and the rest of them, Damar Hamlin back in practice. Actually called an interception. I mean, who would believe nearly less than a year ago, not even a year, under a year ago, this guy laying lifelessly on the field, going to an operating room, potentially not looking to even come out. Now giving out rewards, his medical staff, that kudos to them and what they've done. And then this guy is now catching a pass back on the NFL football field. I mean, Cam, you can shed light on it, but I mean, this is spectacular to see. In my opinion, I couldn't play football again after an injury like that. My life has changed, and I'm going to a different path to educate about. I mean, he still does that. He educates about health and education and safety and stuff like that on the football field. But he's back out there. How much of an impact do you think this has on the Buffalo Bills team or organization in general, and maybe the NFL in the whole?
Well, first and foremost, I'm happy to see that he is back. It's good seeing him, not necessarily seeing him go through what he went through, but him bouncing back, fighting through adversity, being perseverant in regards to getting back to doing what he loves to do, first and foremost.
Yep.
I'm not sure how much of an impact he actually had on that roster specifically, but they obviously still believe in the kid if they allowed him to come back, if they bought him back.
Well, when I say impact, meaning not just because of the roster and how he played, but the impact, like mentally, that you have your brother in fire come back and now on the field. That has to be some kind of impact. I mean, to me, I would think we're going to a Super Bowl this year because we want to go back and do this for him. Like I thought that was going to happen at the end of last season and take it all the way to the bowl, but they didn't. They got swamped out in the next game that they had played against after that. And that's not funny, but they got swamped out. But his impact is very brutal. Like you said, not only on that roster, it may not have a big impact because it's a player and he got to get back in the mixture or readjust it to everything that he got set for him. And I hope him nothing but best and great health because that injury was not something just like child's play. That was serious. That was a heart injury. That was something in the body, upper head and neck, all that other stuff. That's something brutal that you can't just change overnight. But I hope him the best throughout the season. I hope to see him in a regular season game again. And that'll be kind of huge for them going home to Buffalo to play their first game. Now, getting into the mixture about tonight's game, it's the Jets and the Browns. But one thing I got to tell you guys, you're not going to see Aaron Rodgers and you're not going to see Deshaun Watson. I was even looking forward to that because I was thinking that, wow, Rodgers might come out there just because it's his first preseason game. But don't put your quarterback under the line of fire like that. But also, you'll see in a few moments, because the game is about to kick off. It may even kicked off moments ago. But you will see a dedication to Jim Brown as he passed away earlier months ago. But obviously, he's a national icon. Not only that, he's a barrier breaker in the NFL of being one of the, well, not even first, but one of the first effective black running backs in the league to take on a monster when there was a division amongst your color of your skin. To do that is great. Between him, Jackie, and all of the greats like that, you took it during a time of hardship. Well, we already keep it hard because we got to go through the same thing, not as bad, but we go through the same thing, the same steps as our ancestors do. So kudos to the Browns and what they're going to do for his tribute and thoughts and prayers to the families of the Browns, because even though they were still going to go through that regardless of when the passing happened months ago or not. But also, Cam, we're going to get into this, though. Do you think Aaron Rodgers should play a preseason snap just for the sake that he's with a new team? He never did it in Green Bay since probably before the 2010 season.
Yes, 100%. I'm tired of all this Aaron Rodgers talk, to be honest with you, bro. I want to see it come to life because it's not like he went to a cupcake division like Tom Brady did. He went to the AFC East. You still got Buffalo. I don't care what anybody says. Even though Josh Allen does not show up in the playoffs, you still have to go through Buffalo twice.
Yeah.
Miami has gotten better not only offensively, but they have off-season wise. They're on paper. They don't have one of the better defenses in the league. And if Tua stay healthy, we saw what would happen between Tyreek Hill and Waddle with Tua. Oh my gosh, come on now. And then you still got Belichick in New England. We don't know what Mac Jones is about to do. But that defense they play hard for Belichick. That defense keeps them in games. So hey, look, I just want to see this man come out and ball out. Because I'm tired of hearing, oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is one of the best to ever do it. This, that, and the third, you only have one ring. I'm sorry. I mean, I get only one team can win. But if you're one of the best to ever do it, how come you only won once? That's my biggest question. Eli won twice. He was mediocre. If we could be realistic, we had a great defense behind us, but Eli won it twice. That's all that I'm saying. Shoot, I'm tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers. I want him to be successful because I want to see him in the playoffs. I think the playoffs in the AFC would be amazing if the Jets get there. I want to see him against Mahomes in the playoffs. I want to see him against Burrow. I want to see him against Herbert. My boy Sunshine in Jacksonville, Lamar. Hey, the AFC is stacked.
In my eyes, I'll be honest with you. I'd be scared to go to the AFC right now if I was Rodgers.
Right.
I understand what he's doing. He's just disgruntled with Green Bay, but I'm like, my God, you're going over there with some sharks, piranhas, you name it, the megalodon. I don't know what you want to call it. You got a lot of things going over there, and there ain't no Mentos either. You might be swimming in the pond you don't want to. But that game kicks off probably right now. The Jets and Browns open up the season in the Hall of Fame game, and you'll see some of your favorite Hall of Famers across the board. Now, Cam, we going to end in this topic here. You got to tell me it's too early, too close to call. The season just began tonight in the preseason. But what? And we can figure this thing out later throughout the season as well. What's your most dominant team going to the NFL? Well, the NFL season, excuse me.
Going this season? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Until they're dethroned, bro, it's the Chiefs, bro. And I hate to go with the Chiefs because all people ever talk about is Patrick Mahomes this, Patrick Mahomes that. But until he stopped, you got to give this man his flowers. They're balling. And people keep saying, oh, yeah, well, they lost Tyreek Hill. I was one of them. They lost Tyreek Hill. I thought his numbers would go down. It didn't matter. They draft so well. And I try to tell people, even to this day, if you have a roster constructed for what you need people to do, if they play their roles, you're going to have an amazing year. You don't need superstars everywhere on your field to be successful. You just don't. If you have players who can just make basic catches, yards after catch are huge. Mahomes was so successful. Tua was so successful with the short dinks, 5 to 10 yards, boom. Let your receivers do all the work. It works. But Mahomes, that Chiefs team is bad. Oh, man.
They are bad. I will say this. With my most dominant team, I got to give it to that bad man. Who? Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I got you there. I got you there. I had to do that. But I had to give it to Patrick Mahomes until you prove me wrong, until he writes his own script and say it's ending. I mean, this man is smart all the way around. I mean, this guy shows that you don't have to, like you said, you have all the pieces, but you can even be the star. He's not trying to be, excuse me, Raven fans, Lamar Jackson taking all the runs and all the reps. He's not trying to be Aaron Rodgers that takes all the throws and blames it on everybody and their baby mama. He's not trying to do that. He takes full responsibility, and if they fail, he said, let's try it next week. And he's so casual with it in his conversation. He loses by 21, which has never happened yet. He'll say, let's try again next week. Like, and literally, he's so humble. He's a humble player since Texas. And I mean, it's just been one of those things that's him. That's his structure. That's his morals. That's his values. So, I mean, Cam, we're agreeing on so much stuff. I don't know what's going on. I think something's in the water or something's in the air. We will figure this thing out and do an air quality check, and I'm going to do a water check as well because I got to figure this thing out and see what's going on. But in the meantime, Cam, that wraps up all of our conversations for today. We do got a podcast and see us next week. But, Cam, I can't leave the show, the first show, without handing it over to Cam with the plan in Cam's corner. And then I'm going to take it away at the end.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up the entire
Oh, wait, did I lose you? I might have lost you. So I can't take it away, and I got to give it to Cam's corner one time. But we did this in the beginning, and we're always keep this tradition. But Cam's corner, I'm going to have to give it to you. Then I'm going to take it away from you at the end because I got to do what I got to do at the end.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say I am so happy to be back with you, my brother, first and foremost. Second of all, I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a crazy year, ups and downs and whatnot, but I believe that everything is going to be better now that football is here. Clemson's going to make a crazy run like we normally do. We have a new quarterback at the helm of the offense. My young man, Cade Klubnik, we got rid of Big Stinko. He stunk up for the past 3 years. We've been moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Cade, hey, we expecting big things for you, young man. Big things. He won the ACC championship for us last year. Came in big. When Big Cinco was out, he threw a pick first. Hey, first drive, Cade, come do something for me. That man went for 300 yards. 300 yards. Come on now. What we talking about, Marquez? And now we got,
See, you look,
Danny Jones
look,
and
you
whatnot.
making my devices shut off. This is the worst case scenario here. You making my devices shut off. You make my camera drop. I uncensored everything. Look, now I gotta flip my camera back around. And look, this is even the worst thing. I am tired of this. No, my camera knew I was tired of this. Look, you made my device. My devices knew I was tired of this. Cam, I'm cutting you off because we gotta wrap this thing up. I'm trying to go watch the Jets and Browns play, and you over here talking about see, this is the stuff. I am done. I am about done because your blasphemy is just killing me today. I am disgruntled with you and what you got to do. And this is one thing I'm gonna say because I'm closing this show out because it's a blasphemy. It's roasting. No. I'm not doing this, Cam. Look. Cam's corner is canceled. It's been closed off. We're back to Goode.
Wow, that's what we doing, bro. That's crazy.
I am done. But look at this. Again, guys, look, it's been a blast. The first show has been spectacular. We are back to normal action. I got some interviews lined up from people around the world. I got things coming up here. You got to bear with me. We're going to get these people scheduled and figure out. I mean, they are great people. They have life-changing events happen. These people have played in the league, played around the different leagues in the arena, played to the NFL, played to the NBA, played to the MLB. We got people all over the place that's coming in here, and we're pouring in support. I will tell you this, guys. It's going to be a mighty good thing coming in. This is just the first one. You saw all that advertisement leading. Now, this is the first one. You see that Goode Guys Entertainment has finally returned. You got something to watch on your TVs on the regular. We're going to figure out a dedicated time. I'm going to pull a poll up to figure out what time fits you guys the best because my schedule and Cam's schedule is very, very packed. But I'm going to figure out how to put this thing together and make sure all you guys are comfortable coming in here week to week. But again, guys, hey, it's been a blast. Hey, be safe out there. It's hot across. I don't know where you're watching at, but I know here on the East Coast, it's hot as hell. And I will say stay hydrated. Hey, I'll tell you this too. And it's not going to be more on a serious note. If you need any assistance, I've had too many people, I will tell you this, too many people going through too much stuff. If you need somebody, always call me. You always know how it is. Call me, text me, whatever you got to do. I'm always for an ear to listen. I tell Cam that too. And that's for people that I care about. Give me a call. I had too many people going through too many crazy stuff. And if you have too much crazy stuff, you don't want to talk to me about it, call 988 because that helps you prevention of suicide hotline and stuff like that. So you don't want to go through all that stuff. But in the meantime, be blessed, guys. Say the rest. We out. Deuces.